Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast. Also, Dave, fuck Dave.
Yeah.
Speaking of people I hate.
Dave.
Just kidding.
Tell him, Steve, Dave. Anybody know what that's from?
I don't.
No. Mallrats.
Oh. There was a
Haven't seen that
Mallrats
in
quote
ages.
last night talking about the uncomfortable backseat of a bar. So you know what
I
I'm
love
talking
that movie.
It's
It's the best.
Kevin Smith.
No,
Jane
that
Silent
too.
Bob.
It's the best cameo for
Stan
Stan
Lee.
Lee?
Yeah.
Above any cameo he's had in the Marvel movies.
Although I do love
Yeah.
that his cameo in Captain Marvel is him preparing his script for Mallrats.
Yes.
And it's one of my favorite bits.
Yes.
There's a great interview with Kevin Smith in which Marvel's calling him and like, so here's what we want to do. And he's like, seriously? I would love that.
Oh,
Yes,
gosh.
please.
I love that movie.
I have a weird soft spot, especially for the earlier Kevin Smith, like the Clerks movies.
I tried to watch The Clerks with Jessica and she was like, what is this? And I was like, fuck out of here.
That is verbatim. James and I trying
The
to watch
fuck
the
outta
Clerks
here.
movie.
The fuck out of here.
The fuck outta here.
Look, I'm a contractor. You don't take a job for someone that you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Those contractors working on the Death Star, they knew what they were doing. Just when they find the dead body in the fucking toilet. Oh, shit.
We're leaving all this in, right?
I mean, at least some of it. Look, there's no music on right now. It's really easy to cut around this.
Or the Dicks thing, you can take that out too.
I can't remember the Dicks thing. There's a Dicks thing.
In the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Clerks
How
thing.
many
The Clerks
dicks
thing.
things have there been in the last 10 minutes? Come
hard
on.
to tell.
We've already forgotten.
I can't remember which one.
I see anything more than 3 dicks and I just forget about them. I have a 3 dick limit.
God.
Sort
Definitely
of like,
cut that out.
margaritas at a restaurant. They cut you off at 3.
Oh, right.
Someone could turn that into like a terrible drop. Have a 3 dick limit.
Well,
Feature.
definitely time to end the episode.
Put that in the trailer for this episode. I have a 3 dick limit.
And now 3 of the 5 cast have said it. So.
I conscientiously abstain. Nor will I be calling James daddy.
I
Like
forgot
the
about
rest
it.
of you.
Thank you for reminding me.
Wait, who is what like or we all have siblings, right?
Mhm.
What order of sibling are you? Jason is the older brother.
No, I have 3 sisters. One's older.
Oh,
The other 2
you're a
are
middle
younger.
I'm
Yeah.
baby.
baby.
Mm-hmm.
I am second youngest.
You have a
of
whole
6.
a whole gaggle.
Yeah. It's a yours, mine, and ours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a blended,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Got it.
Like blended learning.
in a way, yeah.
Baby, one older sister.
I'm an older sibling, which I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Well, thank you all for recording this amazing intro. Let's do one thing each. What is something that you remember as an objective or something you want to check into, and what is something you remember that has happened
Oh,
so
man.
far? Let's start with what's something you remember that has happened so far. Let's go around the table one each. Jason, what's something that's happened so far?
We fought the people in this tent. And no one seemed to notice that we were like in this all-out 10-round brawl, like in and out of the tent.
Well, it's not yet.
At least not yet. So I kind of want to figure that part out because I know that there's like somebody is watching us.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's watching us.
Yeah, and there's a guillotine in here, right?
Yeah.
And we're working for the lawmaker guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
What's his
Magistrate?
title? Magistrate.
right,
Magistrate.
right.
So you were working for both the magistrate currently as to be bodyguards at the event, and of course,
Right.
bigger picture, you're working for Citizen Dranok or Camilla Dranok, the current
Right.
leader of Galt. Trent, something you remember that's happened so far?
Yeah, I was going to say that Watson got arrested essentially and got taken to the
That's
magistrate
right.
judge.
Mhm.
And he sort of
Cut a deal.
was like, I could use some adventurers, sort of thing.
You did cut a deal with the man.
I got to get back into my French accent. And Jane, what's something you remember so far?
One of Val's 7 evil exes showed up and tried to kill her and almost did.
Oh, fuck,
That's right. That was the ringmaster here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna do it snake draft. Jane, what's something that you still want to that you is an objective ahead? What's something you or the group need to do moving forward?
Why did I have to start?
It can be anything. It can be really broad. I'm just
You're the
zoning the group in.
investigator.
Yeah, tonight is the party, right?
Boom. Yep, that's
Yeah.
a great
So,
fact.
okay.
No,
we're
go
moving
for
on.
it.
Done.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, we need
Be
to
quiet now,
we
Jane.
need to-
Shut the fuck up.
We need to protect the magistrate on the way to this party ball thing
And at the party
and
ball.
at it. Yeah.
All right.
We need to figure out why these blades are going to be in these certain city centers and for what purpose.
Okay.
Right.
And you do know that they are located around there.
I feel like we just took all of the low hanging fruit. So good
Yes.
luck.
Haha.
But does Jason remember? There's something in particular.
Oh, fuck. I remember.
Something in particular about the party?
Something in particular you're still looking into.
Oh, yeah.
One-eyed Willie?
Wait.
The
We
one-eyed
already
man.
hit our 3 dick limit, Jason.
What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, we've heard rumor of a one-eyed guy.
Who's been asking some
Who's
weird
been asking
questions.
questions.
Didn't somebody
about us.
say, like, take your one-eyed friend with
Yeah.
you?
Oh,
And we
yeah.
were like, we don't have a one-eyed friend.
We're like looking behind us.
2
like,
months later.
Honestly,
the joke
okay, I
pays
thought about
off.
this after the last time we recorded about like how I think it was supposed to be like this big reveal. Like some bad guy was like, take your one-eyed friend. And all of us were like, it's probably nothing. And like never addressed it. Like, never came back to it.
Yeah, so I would say figuring out who's following us / the one-eyed guy / I kind of hope they're the same so we can kill 2 things at once.
We don't actually know that anybody's following us at this point, right? It's just kind of like an audience thing.
I
That
think
is,
that
yeah.
I have an idea, don't I? Like I feel like someone's following me, but I can't.
That's right. Yeah,
pick up
you've
on
had
what
you've
it
had
is.
like a tingling in the back of your
Yeah.
neck.
But you haven't like seen,
But I haven't
Jorshars
been able to
hasn't
see
seen
anything.
someone. Okay.
So, how about them Grey Gardeners?
They suck.
So what are we going to have for
Annoyed.
breakfast?
Are you talking about us or our characters?
No, the characters. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing we would do, right?
I woke
After-
up like half an hour ago.
In the game?
No. Well, I mean, in the game, I feel like I'm going to need a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
A good day's sleep.
Good day's sleep.
I think when last our listeners left us, we just wrapped up that fight in the circus tent
Yeah.
with Val's former lover.
Mm-hmm.
Did we know?
Let's talk about that
do
relationship.
Do we know this? Or is this just like, we know, but the characters don't know?
I feel like I'm having to report to like a panel of dads right now.
Young lady, tell us about this.
The details could be pertinent to the investigation.
Well,
It's always the boyfriend.
is Drosharis asking me that?
Yes, I am. What's the
I would like to hear it in old man character voices, please.
So, what is the deal with this side piece that you just murdered?
Okay, I didn't murder him.
I
I
watched you.
just
You stabbed him many times.
literally all
he was already dead.
You shot a man in the head.
Okay, that was a different man. I actually think that Val didn't kill him because she wanted to, but somebody else. I don't remember who it was.
There was a lot going
Been a
on.
hot
There's
minute.
a lot going on.
Was that him?
Yep.
Himbo.
Himbo. This man betrayed my family, so he deserved what he got.
Fair enough.
I knew you would understand.
Betrayed how?
He sold out my adoptive father to the Grey Gardeners.
Hmm.
That's why I have to figure out what's going on here so that I can scrub the record of anything that might lead them to believe that I'm still alive.
Had he always been a Grey Gardener?
Not that I knew at the time, but we were pretty young.
You made a promise to me that you would never spill blood with that knife.
Well, you know, in the moment. Sometimes when your friend texts you that you should do it, That's Val speaking. Val's like, I got a text from my friend Trent who
What
said,
is a text? Give it back to me. Not the text, the knife. I want the knife. Give it back to me.
fine. She like throws the knife down on the floor.
He like wraps it in cloth and like puts it away.
So I
Val's
know
cleaning off her fingernails.
before we started recording, Jason, you'd made some comment about like, didn't we just have a big brawl right in like public view?
Yeah.
And so the way that I described it and the way the book describes it is that there's sort of a perimeter that's set up, because while there is the big top, the circus tent that you just threw down in the doorway of, usually there's some sideshow acts and some other areas to handle like vendors and food. So there's some sort of fenced perimeter. And then in the center of that, there is the big top with some smaller tents around it. So hypothetically, you may have seen something that you may not have as well. The other thing that's worth noting, and we've talked about the attitude in Galt a little bit, that's sort of like, it's one of those, it could kind of cut either way. Everyone's super nervous about what they do or don't say. And so people may have seen it, just been like, probably just Grey Gardeners doing Grey Gardener stuff, better not acknowledge it. Or it could be like, I better tell the Grey Gardener so I get a finder's fee.
That guy who was walking past the farmers union and also the bank is like, you know what? I've had a long day. I'm going to go down to the fair, unwind.
Just get some
Storm
street
gathers.
meat.
All of us are just like, it's just the circus. Don't worry about it.
And if you liked that play acting, wait
Right.
until you see our production of King Lear.
We like prop up the Grey Gardener and like wave his hand. Like,
he
Freaking
doesn't
nervous.
have a hand anymore.
so Val, I think, would also kind of look around and just be like, well, we're getting to know each other. What is this about a one-eyed friend of yours?
I assure you, I have no friends
Well, that's hardly surprising, but
except you, bro.
Thanks.
Oh, that's so lovely. I love seeing good friendships like that. This warms my little old man heart.
Watson's secretly upset that he's not considered your friend.
He's not going to say anything though, you know.
It's like, ouch, that kind of hurt.
Well, I sure wish that I had a good friend like that. That would be nice.
One day.
How Midwestern.
That guy that works in your shop, right? He's your friend.
He betrayed me. I digress.
Is there secretly like a Grey's Anatomy ER show about Watson's hospital? It's just called Watson's Hospital.
Hospital.
There you go.
Who is this one-eyed friend of yours?
I do not know.
How are we supposed to trust that when you're not even the same person half the time?
You make a fair point, but you're gonna have to trust me.
Val shrugs, storms off. I think she does want to peek outside the tent a little bit, just make sure there's no creepy one-eyed person. looking at.
What do we do with these bodies that we have just decimated in this tent?
I'm gonna look around for like barrels.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of crates and barrels in
That's
here.
going to stink.
I vote we just prop them up against this final blade as a nice little message to the Grey Gardeners.
So now there is that. There is a giant thing covered in the middle of the room that is large enough to be a guillotine.
Val is going to go over there and I am not totally sure that I'm using this rule correctly, but I would like to make specifically that one like my lead.
Okay. You can designate just about any item or person, or if you have like evidence of a person or an item, like if you see footsteps, you can be like, I designate the footsteps of those who left them a lead, and you can do that pretty quickly. So
And I think I can do multiple at a time, correct?
you can have 2 simultaneously, and you can have as many in a day as you want. You can only have 2 that are active at a time.
So I kind of
basically.
want to make this final blade and then also the one-eyed friend my leads for the moment.
Okay. But I thought Drosharis doesn't have friends.
No friends.
All right.
Except him.
I didn't say it was Drosharis' friend. It could be my friend.
Is it your friend?
I don't know.
Do you have many one-eyed friends?
I mean, I feel like in this world it's not that weird.
I mean, healing magic exists. It's the year 4,700.
That's true. It's not like we're living in medieval France.
No, not at all. All right. So, you said you're walking up to this final blade,
Yeah.
and you pull off. It's like a big, heavy sort of like drop cloth, and you pull it back off. A little bit of dust comes up, and sure enough, it's a fucking final blade. Have any of you ever been this close to or seen a final blade before?
No.
Doubt it.
I think Val probably would have from afar when she was a child,
So,
but not this close.
Watson certainly would not have sought out like executions, attending an execution.
so one of the things that I know at least Fox would know, and I think it's come up in one of our previous episodes a little bit, is that these are named, right? Each of these different guillotines has a name. Some of them are even a little flippant, given what that people die under them. And as you're looking at this, it's not hard for you to pick out, Val. This one has sort of painted onto it with gold lettering the name Sharp-Toothed Hannah.
Huh.
Can I just note on that point that
Sorry, Sharp-Toothed Hannah.
the electric chair in Oklahoma is nicknamed Sparky?
Ugh.
That seems insensitive,
Yeah, it is.
but I guess so
It's
is
Oklahoma.
having. Oh,
No offense.
There's not a whole lot of sensitivity in Oklahoma.
although I feel like anything that is in Oklahoma, you're just ready to tell all of us that it's in Oklahoma.
I'm secretly going to make that this entire podcast.
Oklahoma.
Do you want
facts.
to open up with any what famous person or thing has ties to Oklahoma, Trent?
No, I'll save it.
Okay,
It has to
appreciate
come
that.
up naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't force it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So there's this
Sharp-Toothed Hannah.
giant
It's
final blade,
incredibly creepy.
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably the first time, being as I said, being this close that any of you have seen it this close. There's something to behold. They are.
What does it look like?
They're each a little different. It looks like a giant guillotine, and it looks like it's large enough to hold anything up to a large size creature.
Is there like a little panel or bucket that's like souls in here?
Not quite, but there are all kinds of inscriptions and small details worked into it that you can see elements that would betray that it has some magical
I would like to look at
parts to
those inscriptions and writings and such.
A lot of it's just give me I don't care if this is open. Give me an occultism check.
Okay.
And as you're kind of looking at it, it's a lot of it's symbology. Those of you who are familiar with how magic items are made, you'd see that most of it is sort of the stuff associated with different schools of magic. What'd you roll?
20.
Oh,
Natty.
it's going to be a good session.
What's that as a
First
total?
roll of the
So
day.
I also speak a ton of languages.
Okay.
If that matters too. What was I was just rolling?
Occultism.
Occult.
Occult. Which I think is probably, I'm guessing something you actually have.
Is 40 gonna do it?
I think it is. Although I will say it would be just a normal success, but because it's a 20, it upgrades it. Actually, the DC for this is 40.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll give you a little bit of information about it. It is a 20th level item. And
Wow.
a couple of things here.
So we can use it.
Because it technically is a crit, I can give you some like stat information. I'm not going to share some plot stuff with you, but let's see.
Oh, benevolent GM. I'll take whatever you give me.
If you execute a creature restrained by the blade, the creature takes 11 d10 slashing damage and must succeed a DC 45 fortitude save or be decapitated as though it was hit with a critical hit of a natural 20 from a +3 major striking Vorpal Scythe.
Oh, wow.
So Drasharis is looking at all this writing and he's like, don't get in this thing.
It's very sharp.
It's very sharp.
Glad we have a worksmith like you to ensure that happens.
What I will say is you've heard, and it's sort of the rumor, if you will, about the final blades, that anyone killed in them, their soul is trapped as well. And seeing it up this close, you feel confident that that's true now. You think, in looking at it, that anyone killed by this cannot be returned to life, not even by a miracle spell.
Are their souls tortured, like stuck there?
All right, so because this is technically a critical success, you do think that not only are the souls prevented from moving on to other planes, they are trapped inside of them. and you don't know how many or what that means. But as you stand close to it now, I'd have to imagine that you have this sink into you, and any of you who have any connection to a religion or divine magic can probably feel a discomfort that this is, maybe it's a family's worth, maybe a village, maybe a city's worth of souls inside this contraption.
Question.
Sure.
Would Val, having grown up here and being alive and around when Camilla
Mhm.
Dronach's mother was executed, would she know which specific final blade that happened?
Yes, you would.
Hmm.
I think having some connections through your mentor figure to the Dranach family, you would actually know. And I'll have to double check my notes for the exact name.
But it wasn't this one.
No, but it's because you did have some other information. You do have the name of the blade that was being brought to the masquerade ball,
Hmm.
and that's the one that killed
Gotcha.
Camilla's mother.
It's bullet tooth.
Maybe we
Tony.
knew that.
Or Boris the Bullet Dodger.
Boris the bullet dodger.
Wait, why is he called Boris the Bullet Dodger?
Dodges bullets, Evie.
So that is an interesting one. I'll get the exact name for you on that one. But
Wait, so that means that there's more than one blade in the city then?
Mm.
yes.
There's a bunch.
Well, there's two, which is a noteworthy thing because the halfling was tracking a lot of them.
But across the region, they're getting moved into population centers.
Mhm.
Correct.
What happens if we destroy this?
Can we destroy it?
The name of the blade that killed Dranach's mother is Silent Lenore.
Silent
Or
Lenore.
silent.
Oh, you know
That's
what? I think we already did learn that actually.
But this is the first time you thought, like, wait, is that the one that killed Camilla's mother?
Right. But I see that this is Saber-toothed Tony.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Saber-toothed Tony. It's the bullet-toothed Tony we have at home.
For some reason, Fire Marshal Bill just popped in my head. Anybody remember Fire Marshal Bill?
No.
Jim Carrey
Oh.
character?
No.
Oh my gosh. All right. For the listeners who's listening to this, if you don't know, stop this and go look at it.
Don't stop this.
Come back for sure, but go watch it and we'll watch it later.
All right. So
I feel really fucking old right now.
I have that experience every time I go to our local coffee shop, and it's just like a bunch of Gen Z working there. And I played like board games with one or two of them. They're great, super nice people. And every time I'm like, oh, I'm old.
Yeah.
Or the other night we were going to see Bodies, which thoroughly enjoyable. Lee Pace shines
Yeah.
and a secondary role there. And we're getting our tickets for it. And it's me and this friend of mine, Nick, and we're talking to the very Gen Z, very kind person working the counter, and they're like, yeah, Bodies is a really fun game too. And Nick and I are both like, I did not know it was an actual like party game. She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, do we just not know it because we're old? And then sure enough, in the movie, there's a joke with like Lee Pace's 40-year-old character dating a 25-year-old, and all of them were like, let's play Bodies. And he's the only one who doesn't know how to play. And Nick and I just like in the theater looked and made eye contact. I'm like, oh, that's us now. We're old. So because you had a natural 20, one of you asked about destroying it. What are you going to try to do?
Well, fire seems the first idea.
Let me see if I have any.
Just say, hold on a second. How do we know we're not just going to make the problem worse in destroying this thing?
Describe worse.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not the most morally scrupulous of people, but it seems like sending an entire village's worth of souls into some sort of fiery afterlife is kind of a bad thing.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that the blade? Ah!
Why is there a dog here?
Sorry. I'm Lucy.
Oh, hello, Lucy.
Those belong to me.
You are a beautiful dog, aren't you?
It's like a golden retriever.
I'm Lucy.
I was once called the morning pup, but I am now called Lucy.
Anyway,
Would you like a pet, Lucy?
My
Yes.
thought is if we burn it, the souls are released and can pass on.
Seems like an assumption.
Do we know
Does anyone else have any ideas?
where this?
Perhaps we could inform the
Do we know where
halfling.
this blade was supposed to go?
Val starts like knocking on it. She's like, souls, hello?
you do have a little information about where you know the blade was supposed to go. The reason you came to check out the market was because the halfling map maker's notes seemed to indicate that rumors were it was being moved to this area.
Okay.
So that's why you checked here.
Gotcha. So this is where it was gonna end up.
And following Val's theory, that seems to make sense that it'd be here as well. It's it's one of those centers of town, even outside of being a harvest jubilee, and having that as well just means there's going to be a ton of people in this area the next few days.
Okay.
I don't think we can take the step of destroying it without knowing what's going to happen to those poor souls.
Can we disable it?
Hmm?
Can we
Could we-
detach the blade from the...
Right, could we remove the blade?
Right.
Can someone give me, it's like, it would technically be I'm going to call it a recall knowledge with either disable device or some sort of relevant lore. I'll roll it because it'll be a secret check.
Would warfare count?
No, I don't think so. Not in this case.
I have so much.
That's all I have.
You have warfare lore too?
Me too.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
We know all about war.
We're just trading war stories all of a sudden.
Oh god.
It's like you hit that age and your choices were getting into brewing, podcasting, or war history, and all of you chose war history.
Ironically, it literally is all Civil War history from this area too.
That's right.
We reenact it.
Oh god, no.
So I have two
French
things that
War.
I don't know if they could work for this, but
Sure.
for one thing, society, as in like these are a part of the culture, I guess.
Okay.
Or I'm wondering if I can roll a crafting check and then that will be
Yeah.
like, can I disable this somehow?
Yes.
My crafting is really bad, but it's there.
Does anyone else have a good craft? Because I'll do a craft as a recall knowledge. I'll allow that for sure.
I have a +2, so it's not really
I have a 3.
You have a
great
three.
for me.
What is crafting?
All right.
All right. What's your bonus, Jane?
Val embroiders on the weekends. She's ready for some crafting. It's a +5.
Solid.
I mean, you're the highest in the group. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try to shove something in the places where the blade drops. Sure.
Hmm.
You have an idea of how you would stop something mechanical from functioning. This relies on the assumption that it works the way you
Like
a
assume
normal
mechanics
thing?
would. Yeah.
Val's going to look at Watson and be like, I'm sorry about the dagger. Question 1. Can you see if there's any sort of magical thing going on with this thing? Question 2. Can you please heal me?
Oh, suddenly the person who disobeys orders wants to be healed. How about that?
Fox is going to peek outside the tent and make sure no one's gathering or there's no one watching us.
What's your perception bonus? Your
Great
perception.
question. My perception
Yeah.
is
Is it plus 22?
22.
I've got a little sticky note back here.
Yeah.
So you're looking around. You see a couple people throw some glances over your way, but there's no one stacking up.
Okay.
You don't know what that means.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I want to check to see if it's like trapped if we go to try to start messing with it.
Sure.
Oh, good
So
idea.
I'll do like a thievery.
This is perception to check for
Perception,
traps.
okay.
What's your bonus?
Plus 24.
All right. So doesn't appear to be trapped. What I'll say is as you keep examining it more, I'm going to kind of roll a little bit of that critical over. You get the impression that damaging this would be extremely difficult.
Okay.
And you know what? I think you've all been talking about it long enough. And we'll say that conversation is sort of building on that base knowledge you had from the crit, just in the sake of narrative. And you think that we're talking about like a One Ring sort of situation. I don't think there's a volcano, but there's probably...
We have to drop it in a volcano.
Now to
All of us are
doom.
just pushing it.
Cast it into the fire, Isildur. Can you imagine that movie if it's just like a little halfling hauling a guillotine the size of like an Escalade up a mountain?
I mean, I assumed that's how this ends. So
I can't carry you, Watson. Or I can't carry the blade, Watson, but I can carry you. Oh no, I fucking cannot. This is too big. There are also no giant eagles. So what you take away is you think that there's
We're going to get sued for copyright infringement, by the way.
you'd probably look, that was clearly parody. That was
Clearly,
that was
clearly,
Alright,
very
fair enough.
clearly.
that was comment and criticism, which is a protected use of free speech. I'm criticizing and parodying those films and books. Anyway, your guess is that you would have to find a magical way to destroy it, and you think that that is such that it probably wouldn't even just be a spell.
We need a dragon. We need to find a dragon.
You think, honestly, and this is what I'd say, because you have some experience with some weird shit, Drosharis, and you know that there are a handful of magic items that, like, an old enough dragon of enough power, its breath can take apart some items.
Yeah, I've seen a fantasy movie before.
But you think this is more than that. You think that this would probably even survive dragon's fire. So what you guess, and this is a bit of an abstract word in Pathfinder, but you would either need to find or create some sort of rich, multi-component, multi-part ritual to unwind the enchantment of this by knowing it and being sort of like magical surgery, essentially, in multiple parts to disenchant or to destroy this.
So if it takes that type of ritual enchantments, is there anything that we can glean from the studying the occult checks that tells us maybe what type of followers these people are, if there's a god or goddess that, or an order that they belong to?
Oh my god. Are they going to do some sort of ritual at the party tonight? Involving one of the final blades that they have there?
And why do they want so many people there?
They like an audience. So here's what I'll give you. I will give you, because it's a crit, and I think this is my fun thing, is I think it gives you hints. I will read you the tags, like the item tags, the rule tags for a final blade. It's a level 20 item. It has the tags rare, artifact, death, evil, necromancy, and occult.
Wow.
Mm.
And that's what I'll give you. That's just data. Interpret what you want out of that.
Everyone gather around for a minute. And he's going to pull out his dagger, actually. Oh, no, he's pulling out healer's tools.
Okay.
He's just going to go ahead and give everybody a 1d8 damage.
Did you critically fail?
No. No. This is actually a feat.
Oh, shit. I know exactly what you did. What's the name of this feat?
This is called Risky Surgery.
Jeez.
And he can deal 1d8 damage to get a +2 on the medicine check to treat wounds.
So you know what, Trent? Now that you've established the premise of that, let's take it off air to do some math and then come back with that. All right, and we're back. Trent, you want to let us know the just brief results of how's everyone feeling? Is everyone dead now?
We're all dead.
All completely dead. With the first heal, Watson healed 80 points for everybody, and then with the second, basically everybody was up to full. So that would have been 30 minutes worth of healing.
2 checks, 20 minutes, 10 apiece.
I think he has to wait 10 minutes with continual recovery.
Okay, so half an hour later.
Yeah.
So it's still early morning. You still have time to do one more thing. You're sitting around this giant guillotine full of people's souls. What's next for these intrepid adventurers?
I need to go to the CVS of Galarian, wherever that is. I need to go to the general store and buy a thing or two before we go fight. Potentially get into some trouble at the party.
General store.
Is the Jubilee, this like fair that's happening, is that gonna start today as well?
It's going on, right? It's generally going on. It's a little earlier in
But
the
they
morning.
were setting up the carnival tent?
Yeah, so you'd have to imagine that the weekend is probably when it's going to be in full effect, but there's some events leading in the days leading up to it. Sort of think a lot of like summer festivals or rodeos where like the big stuff's on the weekend, but there's events and during the weekdays too.
Okay.
Should we cover this thing back up?
Maybe just leave it here.
Val kind of wants to just prop these Grey Gardeners up on this thing as like a fuck you guys.
Well, it's one Grey Gardener, and then there was 4 of those like fae that look so they're small creatures. They're sort of made to look like demonic children, like to fae sort of cover in the guise of innocent children. They have like long teeth and nails.
Do we want them to know we were here?
Did we know who this Grey Gardener was?
Ortvald, I believe, was his name.
That's right, it was her boyfriend.
Okay.
Ex-boyfriend.
Oh, sorry. No, it was Umno Halivax. Umno Havilex.
Okay.
I think.
You made it up.
Yeah, Ortvald Garmino is the magistrate you're working for.
Okay.
Umno is this man's name.
You dated a man with a very weird name.
Yeah, well, I was like 15.
Oh.
Ew.
Ew.
That was
Lots to
years
talk about.
ago.
The
Weird.
times.
Yeah, I'm suddenly uncomfortable.
Yeah, you didn't share this. That's awkward.
I think we have two options here. One, we created a ridiculous message to send that says we know you're here. My thoughts are things like put this gardener in the guillotine
Yeah,
and drop it.
I'm fully on board with
But
that.
if we
Oh,
don't
I
want
don't
them
know
to know
about
we're
that.
here, then we need to cover all this up.
I would consider it an act of evil to trap that man's soul in this thing.
The man's soul's already left his body, just to be clear.
Oh,
Excuse me, could you go get the map maker
oh yeah, sure.
by yourself? No,
Sure.
no
Yeah,
one's
no
coming
problem.
with you.
Yes, of course.
We're like, Watson, what's that over there?
Shing! Oh, a bird. Oh, I'll go talk to him. Hang on.
Or we could cover it up, hide their bodies inside of it until they decide to uncover it to buy us some time.
Oh, we can. Ooh, I feel like we need to get people away from here. If we can push people out,
Which is why I suggested a fire.
fire, I think it would be along the route.
Even if it doesn't burn the thing down, it burns this tent down and causes a mess.
But wouldn't it just like burn the tent and then they see the guillotine?
For anyone who's listening at home, please feel free to check off Party Suggests Arson as solution.
It's
your bingo board.
It's in the
Very
book of
often.
options.
I'm not even a cleric.
I think Val is just still sort of seething with rage at seeing this person. And so she is of the mind to just prop him up against the guillotine and stomp out of here and go to this party and be like, we are coming for you, Grey Gardeners. But also, I think she just wants to get to this party and figure out what's going on. Doesn't really care what happens here.
How about this? If you all go out and sort of keep people away, I will deal with the bodies real quick.
Fine.
Creepy.
Sure.
She like mutters under her breath as well. He's so creepy sometimes.
So actually, as they all leave, he like puts them in like
Mhm.
repose positions and just sort of like says a quick prayer and then
Okay.
just leaves them.
Sure. All right, so you head
Did we
out.
throw the cover back over the guillotine? Or are we leaving it?
Leave it.
Leave it.
All right, leave the guillotine out. The body's there, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're out in the Jubilee. There's a CVS stop on the books. There's a
We're,
one-eyed
like,
man to investigate.
Covered in blood walking through this carnival.
Does
Like
anyone have a wet
everything's
wipe?
fine.
Does anyone have prestidigitation?
Nope.
Not at all.
Okay. I'm a surgeon. This is a normal look for me.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Val would like to do whatever she can in the time before the party to study up or figure out what this one-eyed friend character is all about.
All right, that's a gather information check. That's a diplomacy bonus. What's your diplomacy bonus?
Plus 24.
All right. Anyone else gonna be looking into info?
I want to go to the map maker
Sure.
and talk to
Her.
her.
Didn't we let her
Yeah,
leave?
she left.
Yeah.
She got.
Because
She's
wasn't
at
she
it.
talking
Oh,
to
yeah.
Fox and
Yeah.
then Fox was like, get out of here.
Yeah, she was afraid of being targeted.
Okay.
Yeah.
because it was Greg Gardner's kicked in her
So
shop
we have
door.
access to her stuff.
Yeah, it's there.
Well, that's what I'll do then. I'll go and
Check out the
yeah,
store.
check out the store, see if there's something in there I can find that mentions the name Sharptooth Hannah or how to destroy it or what the ritual is or
I just hit my funny bone
Yeah.
on the
Oh.
shelf. It hurts so bad. Jared saw it happen.
I did.
We've got to get that pool noodle
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
shelf.
we
when
do.
we record.
Go on.
Childproofing.
We can
She's
call it.
proofing.
We could call it the shelf Sharptooth Hannah.
Seriously. This
yeah,
thing,
we could-
Yeah.
see if she has any research on any of the stuff that we just found out, which is like leaps and bounds more than we knew 10 minutes ago.
That's a good idea. Yes.
What kind of check do you want to make? I'm going to give you a bonus to that check, but essentially I'm going to let you gather information while Val's gathering information about this person. We'll do this as a quick sort of gather information around town for those of you who want to. And like I said, you'll probably have time to do this and like one more thing before I'll let you take like a 5 or 6 hour rest and refresh you before the party.
I have a couple of ideas.
Okay.
One would be the occultism, which we've kind of already been using.
I'll give you that.
I have diplomacy as well, if that matters at all in society.
Because you have access to these documents, I'll give you occultism. What's your bonus?
Cool. Plus 20.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay, and actually, no, you should go ahead and roll this. This isn't a secret check, I don't think. At least I'm just because you have the library. It shouldn't be. And so while you're looking at that,
33.
Nice. And I'm lowering the DC because you have this library. Jared, what's Fox up to? Anything in particular, or just chilling?
Fox is going to go tell the magistrate that we found this blade. And maybe see if there's anything he can do to redirect traffic from that area.
What episode is this going to be number-wise?
I don't know. It's up there.
We're still splitting the party. I know, it's crazy.
I know.
I should know that. It's written down. It's
I'm
number
sure it's
whatever.
somewhere.
I'm sure it'll bite us at some point, but
I feel like I
Still
black
fun.
out every time we play this game. I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what we said. I don't know what number of podcast this is. I can't remember anything about my character.
Watson, what are you getting up to?
Watson would like to get some corn from the Harvest Festival and just munch on it for a while.
I love Watson so much.
Watson
It's
is
corn.
I saw this meme the other day that was like,
that will date this episode for the 1 week that the corn thing is popular.
I couldn't think of a more beautiful thing.
Just because it's corn.
It's corn.
I saw this meme that was like,
Got the juice
nobody
in it.
eats good corn without going, that's good corn.
Yeah.
It's you. You're just like, that's good corn.
Oh, that's wonderful corn.
All right, so let's roll that back in reverse order. You talk to the judge. I'm not going to play. I know. Fuck. Let's play it out.
okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me get my judge voice on. He's old. He's French.
I always struggle to find my voice, dude. Magistrate, we found one of the final blades within the city center.
Yeah, that is not a promising thing to hear, but I am not surprised by that.
Is there anything we can do to divert traffic from that area?
From the festival, wait a few days until they leave, but I do not think that there's much else you could do. No, unless you want to move it, but that might be conspicuous.
Yes. I'm not sure what the best answer is, but I'm afraid people will be at risk if they decide to go to the festival.
Well, they live in Galt. They are always in some level of risk.
Damn. That's harsh.
That's deep.
Yeah. I think we'll end it on that little note. I like that. It's a quick scene. Jason, looking into this a little bit, you are able to find out a little more information about the final blades. And I think what you're able to sort of find is some of her notes sort of going along with what you found out. And you suspect that there must be some way to destroy the final blades and free the souls. But if that exists, it looks like her research shows that there isn't anything known about that. And if there is, it must be something only the Grey Gardeners know.
Does it mention anywhere like who created these or who built them?
No, that's another unknown at this point. Otherwise, you find some information that sort of corroborates what you already know, which is that the final blades are being moved into large public areas. Silent Lenore has been moved into the monastery ahead of this party. That is the one that took Apalma Dranok, Camilla's mother, her life. And that actually does bring something to mind for you. You wonder if the souls are trapped inside there, if Camilla's soul, if Camilla's mother's soul is trapped inside there, can these souls, do they have any perception of the world around them? If what you suspect, if there is something strange and mysterious and malicious going on with it, is there any way for the soul inside there to realize that the group of you are agents of her daughter? And any way you could visually show allegiance to that family? That's something, the thought that comes to mind for you. Finally, though...
The red scarf, maybe?
It's a dashing look. Val, as you're talking around town, you do find word that there was an elderly, one-eyed man who was asking around town about the masquerade, specifically about what might happen there. And the general rumors that you've heard or that you hear in this process are that supposedly all the guests, of course, will unmask at the midnight of the masquerade, which is a pretty standard masquerade trope, that everyone, and so at that point you're like, oh, that's who those people are I was talking to. But this would be the first time any Grey Gardeners have ever unmasked themselves publicly. And while that's like kind of a weird rumor, what you're hearing is that there was an elderly one-eyed man seeking that information as well, who had been putting out word that anyone who wants more information about that, or anyone who has more information about that, should seek him out at the old Pharasman shrine in town.
Val's like, I'm so sick of old men. Can I do a society check and just see if I know anything about, like, is there any like local legends about like vigilantes or heroes that have one eye? Or like, would this be like a character in the local scene?
Like you're putting vigilantes in a strange box.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. What's your society bonus?
Plus 29. Why are you so upset about it, Dro?
Oh, we're not all bad. Just all have agendas.
He might not be bad. He might be our friend.
It's a wide man.
He's against the Grey Gardeners.
So you, based off of your network of contacts in town that you've set up, you don't know that there's any like renowned vigilante. It's not like what's the vigilante up in Corvosa? Jack or something.
Yeah.
Blackjack.
Yeah. It's not like Corvosa's Blackjack or anything like that, where there's sort of like a local hero. What you do find out is that shrine, as you ask about it, it hasn't been operational for years. Basically, since the Gardeners have been a thing, there are no priests and no churches in town.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That the god of death would not be particularly happy about this going on.
Yeah. But and so kind of what you pick up is that there are no priests and no churches in town openly. But the one that fought for the longest was the Church of Pharasma. And this is a great chance for me to share a little bit of world fluff. Pharasma is the god of death, true neutral, not positive, not negative. And I think one thing that's glossed over sometimes when people think about, okay, like a god of, maybe they think about like Charon, and is it Charon? Charon in Greek mythology, like the boatman or someone who ferries people to and from. And Pharasma has a little bit of that, but one thing that's interesting in Galarian lore is that the followers of Pharasma are some of the most militantly intense devotees and enforcement of the rules of Pharasma, which say that messing with life is an unholy thing to do. And now, they don't see healing magic or even resurrection as doing that, but specifically undeath or like preventing souls.
Assassins?
Nope, because in their mind, that's when, if someone's killed by an assassin, that's their time to die. That's a part of the natural flow of life. It's
the time they've been called to die.
Yeah, it's specifically undeath or like fucking with the flow of souls. And like they have
messing with the soul economy.
Essentially. And like there's a great bit in Paizo's Book of the Dead in which they start delving into the fluff of the different like Pharasman groups. And when I say military, I'm like it's like black ops, paragovernmental sort of like they don't operate. The only authority they have is religious. They are massively funded and supported. They will strike into any country's sovereign territory to execute their mission, even if it means losing their life. They are brutal about it. And so the idea that Pharasma would have hung on for a while here isn't crazy, but it is a little scary.
That would be a really fun character, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually, there's some great stuff between the Knights of Lastwall and the information about Pharasman and like these Pharasman hit squads going in behind enemy lines of the Whispering Tyrant around the lake, or is it Lake in Carthen, who just venture into like the lands of the dead to pull off these like Black Hawk Down style missions.
So did you say that we would have time for like one more thing?
Yeah, you totally have time for one more thing.
Val's just going to go to this shrine.
On her own?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Snap.
Doesn't tell anyone?
Does she happen to walk by us so we see where she's headed?
All right, so...
Would you like some corn, Val? Where are you going? Okay.
Well, see you later.
She wants to scope it out.
Sure. So you go and you're able to make it to this clearly abandoned shrine. And it sort of matches up with what you've heard. It looks like it hasn't been used for at least more than 50 years. It's a pretty blocky building. You can see it once used to have two like proud sort of towers or spires, but one of them has now collapsed basically onto the structure itself. And it's a very blocky, almost a little brutalist in its construction, very hard edges.
Burns it down.
You can't, because it's why brutalist architecture is great. You can't burn it down easily. And what you see that sort of stands out, in addition to the obvious decay of like one of the turrets collapsing onto it and it collapsing into itself, is that there's quite a few like faded orange ribbons wrapped around it that as you get closer you see have painted or written on them, unsafe, no entry.
Are there any like footprints, anything like that? Any indication of like somebody lurking around?
Sure. So I'm going to call this a perception check. I've got your bonus over here. You check it out with perception. Yeah, you do see, it looks like it's covered. There's 2 entrances to it. There's main doors in the south, and there's a small door on the east side as you scope it out. And as you're looking around, you do see some signs that like someone or someones have been in and out. You don't know if that's normal or not. Like, do kids use this as a place to go hide? Or is it someone checking it out? But there's been some recent disturbance, and you can see that someone's been in and out recently.
Is there like a window I can look in?
There are no windows.
No windows, only a door. So really I can only walk into this blatant trap or can't scope it out.
You could, I guess, try to climb up to the roof.
No.
That probably isn't super safe. What you gonna do?
I think she's gonna just like look at it. I don't think she's trying to hide. I think she's okay with like somebody knowing that she was there. And if somebody doesn't like come out or say something, then she's just gonna like start walking back to Soul Mama's.
No, you don't see anything.
All right.
So glad you didn't go in there.
You're so worried about it.
I thought about it.
Just because you want to kill your character.
Yeah. She's too hard.
All right, so
I want to come back as just the pigeon that flies around with Watson.
we grab another cast member to play the 4th PC, and it's like, and special guest Jane as the pigeon.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Just for simplicity's sake, the pigeon's name is also Jane.
Yeah. Has no stats. All it does is fly. Yeah, so back, I mean, I assume that's where we're all meeting up, but wherever they're at, whether it's Soul Mama's or wherever, I'll go to.
I thought Soul Mama's got destroyed.
Oh, yeah. Where do we stay now?
You were staying at the Stalwart Patriot.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I head back there.
So, what you gonna do?
So, is everybody there?
I head back
Yeah.
after I do my shopping and investigating.
Let's say it's like
Little shopping over here too.
It's like 10:30, 11 a.m. So you'd have time for a thing, come back, take an abbreviated rest that I'll give you mechanical full benefits for.
Okay.
So you still have time to go do something.
Val would come in and be like, so, okay.
Is it too obvious that you have one more thing to do in this chapter?
So Val would come back and be like, well, I got a little background on the one-eyed friend of Drosharis, who he, for some reason, doesn't want to tell us about, but it's fine. It's whatever. Anyway.
You have trust issues.
There's a really creepy sort of...
Even after killing
she
your
thinks
ex-boyfriend.
about stabbing you. Moves on. There's a really creepy fortress. It's probably a trap. There's definitely people going in and out. I don't know if it's one or multiple. I thought about going in, but it seemed like the GM was telling me it was a death trap. So I came back to get you guys.
Oh, I love death traps. Let's go.
It's my favorite band. Death
Oh,
Trap
yes.
for Cutie.
All right, that was pretty good.
Popular
Give yourself
Goyer.
a hero point for
Yeah,
that.
you get a patch.
I'll pick out my
Patches.
favorite later.
I don't know if it has anything to do with what's going on tonight, but people around town seem to say that there's been an elderly one-eyed man walking around trying to get information about the Grey Gardeners unmasking themselves. And, you know, we've been drawn into this kind of trap before, but the one Grey Gardener did mention something about taking our one-eyed friend with us, so...
I found out a little bit about the souls and how they're trapped inside. And I go on explaining how it's possible that Camilla can I have a
Camilla's
theory
mom.
that there's Camilla's mom, that she can possibly know that we are on her team.
I think that Val, when you say that, would say, Camilla has always worn a red scarf that belonged to her mother. Maybe that's a good visual indicator.
Perhaps.
Should we check out this shrine?
Yes, I do want to do something before we enter it. So remind me before we go in.
Okay.
So you're all outside
I
the
feel like
shrine.
that's the most accurate depiction of like Watson being an elderly character of like, don't let me forget.
Please remind me, because I'm going to forget.
I put a soda in the freezer to cool it off. Please don't.
Or like, I imagine us being in battle and you're trying to like read a spell and you're like, let me find my reading glasses.
Where are my cheaters?
Watson, you were going to do that thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. I completely forgot.
It's going to take him a minute to cast, but on you, Fox, because you reminded him, you gain the benefits of Energy Aegis.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What does that do?
That.
This is a 7th level spell.
Oh, snap.
For
The more you
for
rule.
the whole rest of the day, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. You gain resistance 5 to acid, cold, electricity, fire, force, negative, positive, and sonic damage.
Damn.
Damn.
That's pretty
awesome.
cool.
I don't know how to mark that, but that's great. Thank you.
Me.
Just if it's energy damage, we'll reduce it.
Thank you, friend.
Oh, yes, of course.
I always forget that I have that. It just takes a little while to cast, so I can't do it like in combat. So I just kind of always forget.
Makes sense.
So you're standing outside of this blocky brutalist Farazdan Chapel, and there's a set of big doors at the southern end and a small door at the east. What do you all do?
Knock on it.
Shall we knock?
You walk up.
I am gonna stealth a little closer before we knock.
Okay, you're
then-
stealthing up.
I was just about to say that Val goes, we're here. But if you're stealthing, I feel like that would defeat the
Wait,
purpose.
where did the Nightman go?
Whoa. So, that's a good joke too. You show up.
Patch.
Patch? What? Did someone say?
That wasn't me. Not
When
me.
you plead for a patch, you don't get it.
It's true.
So
I was doing no such thing.
So you show up, you knock. Did someone actually knock?
Not yet. I walk
Okay.
up. I get close. I roll 45 in stealth.
So you're getting close. You're checking it out. One thing you do notice, I think this is not a high DC, so your passive will pick this up, is that you think these doors are so old, you suspect that they'll be a little more difficult to open. Also, mechanically, it's 2 interact actions if you were in combat to open a door, just because it's kind of stuck. So you're gonna do like to get it open. So but just looks like some old freaking doors to an old ass chapel.
And may I check to see if the door is trapped before
Yeah,
we start
what's your
opening it?
bonus for perception?
Plus 24.
All right, you check it out. No, door doesn't look trapped. It certainly doesn't seem trapped.
I'm gonna start trying to are they double doors?
At the southern end, no, it's just one large freaking door.
Okay, so I'll try to pull the door open.
Wait, are you trying to do it stealthily?
No.
Okay. And the door opens, and
This
you're able
door
to
has a
get.
terrible upset stomach.
Need some kombucha.
I believe I can. Oh, no, it's a door. I don't know anything about.
I'm not trained in door medicine.
What's the anatomy of a door?
That sounds like a really bad poem.
I feel like that's more of a philosophical
Vogon
question,
poem.
to be honest.
The anatomy of a door.
So you open it up, and it's just, you see for the most part one large room opening out in front of you. It's maybe a little bit bigger than 30 feet by 30 feet, and it's pretty evident that it was once a main, like a worship hall, since you know this was a shrine. What's really standing out to you is you can kind of see that a lot of the floor the stonework and the floorwork's really uneven. And even looking up at the ceiling above you, you can see support beams on the ceiling are splintered. It looks like the building almost didn't survive that northwest tower sort of collapsing into itself. You can see in looking around that there's sort of a few stalls. Maybe they used to be really small rooms to the east, to the right of you as you look in there. And to the west, there's sort of a couple of like small walls where there's maybe something behind them. To the north are the two towers. The northwest tower's collapsed. The northeast, where there should be a tower, you see a doorway that you suspect leads into that tower. And on the far side of the room, you can just make out like a faded mural of what was once a spiral comet.
Can I use my that's odd feat? Because when I walk into a new location, I can automatically notice one non-obvious thing out of the ordinary.
Are
That's
you
cool.
walking in then?
Yeah.
So you stride up next to Are you Drosharis or Knight's Wrath right now?
I'm Drosharis right now.
It's not night right now.
Oh,
I have come out during the day.
He cannot be wrathful during the day.
It's
I
not
was
Days Wrath.
born of the night.
It's called Day's Wrath.
whoa. So you
Yes,
look,
I walk up next to Drow.
So yeah, here's the deal then. You instantly, you kind of piece it together. You do the Sherlock Holmes thing of like, collapsed tower, splintered beams above. They probably used the same construction, probably splintered beams below. Uneven floorwork, didn't start uneven. I suspect that. And you realize that you think that the floor is probably not safe to walk on. And so I'm going to mark some spaces for you. And what you're going to see is you think there are some spaces that if you were to step on them, the floor would sort of go like, and you could potentially like lose your footing as the floor shifted. And you think there's some spaces that if you stepped on it would just collapse beneath your weight.
So I picture it like Dro is kind of like sneaking up, and as Val is like, probably also because she scoped it out earlier, like walks up and just like soccer mom hands out, being like, wait, the floor's not safe.
Okay. And so as you can see, I've marked on the floor of this room that I just drew out. The X's are ones that will immediately collapse. The O's are ones that are unstable. So
You have a giant game of tic-tac-toe on the map.
So for our listening audience, which is to say any audience, thank you for listening. Someone will kind of talk about how much of the floor is not good.
Oh, at least 2/3.
Yeah,
A
for
lot.
Sure.
A solid half of it on the north end is just riddled with danger.
Yeah.
Classic poor construction and a brutalist structure, if you ask me.
Typical.
Typical.
All right. So what you gonna do?
I picture all of us like popping our heads in the door, like stacked on top of each other, like do 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 do. We're here.
I'm just going to be like, hello.
Hello. Oh, you were speaking to the void.
You don't hear anything.
One-eyed man.
It could be a woman.
Well, that's not the information we were
That's
given.
a good
Reassess
point.
your gender biases.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard one-eyed man.
That was kind of messed up.
One-eyed person.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing. Just silence.
Do you think we have a minute's worth of time right now?
Yeah, you totally do.
Okay. So Val would also like to reconstruct the scene as an investigator, which means if she has a minute, she can survey a small location and gain an indistinct impression of events that occurred there within the last day.
Very cool.
So
That is
you
cool.
you walk
Very
into the room.
Sherlock Holmes.
Do you walk in the room to get a better look?
Yeah, but since she knows that the floor is all messed up, she's going to go where she's pretty confident that she's
Yeah.
not going to go like collapsing through to the cellar.
She can walk through it, and she sees a couple of things. She sees footprints in the dust on the safe areas. Someone paid attention, figured out where to step, where not to step. Someone walked over to that northeast tower. There's been traffic to and from it. Something dragged with them from behind. A person dragging
Yikes.
something behind them. You're not sure. You notice the mural to the north, the large comet. It's been cleaned recently. Not detailed, but cleaned at all. Perhaps a religious worship. Is this person related to Pharasma? Does it venerate Pharasma? You see a bed, a body in it to the west wall. But it doesn't look like it's laid there. It looks odd. Someone made it look like they're sleeping there, but that's when you do notice there's a bedroll and a body in it on the western wall. You also think there's something about the comet mural, and you suspect that there's a little more detail paid to one part of it than another. You think
And
you should
this is
investigate
across
that
the
more.
room from where we're standing.
On the north. So you come into the south, and in the north end's a big mural. So once you've seen it all, what you suspect is that someone's been living in here. They've charted out the safe and the unstable parts of the room. They dragged someone big over to the stairwell. You suspect up or down. You're not sure which. Someone's been staying there. They cleaned the mural. They found something there. You should check that out yourself. And there's something inside a bedroll on the western side, but it doesn't look right. You suspect it was put there.
Where's the stairwell?
The stair. So to the northeast is like the turret, and once
Yeah.
you open the door, there's going to be, you suspect from the construction, a stairwell going up and down.
Gotcha.
I'd like to head to the body, so I'm sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would like to do a forensic examination of the body.
Yeah, I think Val would be like, there's a body.
I'm looking in its pockets.
And then we're going to
there.
Peter
clues.
Panda dance all the way over there so we don't fall through the floor.
And Fox is going to cover the door because they all want to come through the door. I
Okay.
mean, they're always coming in behind us.
That's true.
That's actually a really good point. We have been snuck up on so many times.
It's true.
You have no situational awareness.
Right.
So you go to
I
check
think
it
Val's
out.
going for the mural if they're going for the body.
Okay. So what do we want to start? Do we want to start with the bodies, or the mural?
To the body.
So you're over at the body and you're checking it out. You walk over there. You can see there's a figure, a shape laying there, sort of covered. You're going to have to move some of the bedroll to see it.
Okay. I try to uncover the face first, get an idea of maybe what it is, who it is, something like that.
You find a middle-aged, looks like a man with an eye patch on when you just reveal the head.
Is he dead?
Yes.
You tell me.
Oh, okay.
Give me a medicine. Recall what's your
You're
medicine?
the doctor.
Yeah, so I have
I
a
have
feat
medicine,
called
too.
Forensic Acumen,
Oh fuck yeah!
which
Yeah.
allows a forensic examination of a body to a minimum of 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that is just like a medicine check.
Yeah, that'll be recall knowledge though, so that will be secret.
Oh, okay.
What's that bonus though? You should take 5 minutes.
To medicine is
Yeah.
plus 31.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So now to do this, you have to fully uncover the body. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Which hand do you use?
Oh God. He probably has his staff in his right hand, so I
Uh-huh.
imagine his left hand. He's like pulling back the.
And I'll go ahead
It's
and say
so
Jashar's.
unnerving when the GM asks a really
very
specific
specific.
question.
I'm helping him.
Which hand are you wanting to lose?
Yeah.
Is
And
Yeah.
so now, like, are
Which
you
hand is
leaning,
getting burned off?
leaning over the body to like pull the? pull it back?
Yeah, sure.
So you do. You pull it back, and you find a middle-aged man wearing some like light armor, dressed sort of middle of the line, maybe some sort of artisan or craftsman. You see ink stains on his sleeves.
Ink stains.
Yeah,
What color? Ink.
just like a dark brown or black, like fairly standard writing fare is sort of what you're picking out.
He has a pet octopus.
Clearly. Two things stand out to you as you're doing your medical evaluation. You look underneath the eye patch, curious what may have caused this person to lose his eye. There's a perfectly healthy eye under there. The eye patch appears cosmetic.
Ah, okay.
Fashion statement.
I get, if I succeeded at the check,
Oh, yeah.
I can attempt an immediate check to recall knowledge to follow up on something I found.
So I'm going to give you a few more pieces of information you can then follow up.
Okay.
It looks like the body's been dead for about a day. But in looking at it longer, you see that it's been magically preserved. You don't know how long it's been dead.
Huh.
You also don't find an immediate cause of death. So I essentially gave you 3 things you could probably follow up on: the eyes, the cause of death, and the magical preservation.
Do you happen to say something like about the eye, or are you just...
Oh yeah, I'm sure he would be like, yeah, actually, he's wearing an eye patch, but his eye underneath appears perfectly normal.
Maybe it's a decoy. Decoy body. One-eyed man.
Okay.
So I have sort of a choice to make about what.
Yeah, and I'd be okay with you following up on multiple things with your forensic acumen. I'll let you know you actually got a crit success.
Oh hell yeah. I do want to understand like why. It's a +4 bonus to the second recall knowledge.
Yeah.
I guess why he's wearing is this eye a decoy? Why he's wearing this patch?
I'll let you do either society or another medicine check, your choice.
I'll do medicine.
So what's that bonus again?
35.
So a couple things stand out to you as you're sort of Watsoning in a little more on this. There's not the wear or calluses on his skin around his head that would denote that this is something he's worn a lot. So you can't find any signs of long-term wear or use of an eye patch on the body. So you suspect it may have been put on post-mortem.
I think this is a decoy. And I sort of suspect the changeling.
Oh dear. Does anybody know anything about... Oh wait, I know spellcasting. Oh, silly man.
I want to look at his armor and see if there's any like identifying markings or anything like that.
What's your society bonus?
My society
Little society check.
is 20.
No, nothing distinct. It's almost notable how indistinct it is.
Okay.
So looking at it, nothing super unique, almost as if it's attempting to avoid.
But it doesn't give me the idea that like this is something that people, followers of Pharasma, wear.
No, you
Okay.
definitely aren't bearing that. You'd be familiar with Pharasman symbology,
Okay.
and it certainly isn't that.
Watson would like detect magic on the body. You said it seems to be... It seems like it's only been dead a day, but...
Yeah, this is an easy one for you once you start looking into it.
Gentle repose.
100%
Yeah.
gentle repose, yeah.
Okay. What does gentle repose do, James?
Well, we can look up the exact spell, but the long and short is that gentle repose allows a body to stop decomposing. Mechanically, the big benefit is that some spells, or usually rituals that allow for resurrection, can only be done within X many days of death. And things like gentle repose means that those days don't count against like resurrection spells or things like that. So, are you gonna try to fucking CPR this dude?
Maybe.
They're dead too long for CPR.
Where are you, Val?
At
3
the
rounds.
mural. Looking
Okay.
at the, yeah.
Is the mural the same color of ink that's on this guy's clothing?
No, the mural's very old. Looks like
Okay.
it was carved in and then painted in the recesses. But it has been cleaned recently, Val. And you notice there's been special attention paid to one smaller part of the mural.
Touch it. Push it.
Definitely gonna touch it.
Trent, are you done with the body? Anything else?
Yeah, I think he's done. He's probably just telling them, like,
I don't think this is our friend.
You also don't know what killed it. You haven't found, you haven't, like, you're not doing a full autopsy. You haven't found any signs of physical harm on the body.
Val has no reason to say this, so I, as Jane, will just say that this body is definitely going to come to life and attack us.
Yeah, there's a chance it could be undead.
So, Val, you're over at the mural. What's, you know what? Just roll this for me. Give me a perception check. I want you to roll this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, just for funsies.
For no reason at all.
Because you know that it'll be worse.
Perception is also initiative.
So what's that come out to?
What is my perception bonus? Played this character in a minute.
How's everyone feeling? This is like a really safe
terribly
chapel.
nervous.
yeah, something is very wrong here.
Something is afoot.
That's a 37 on perception.
You find a hidden compartment in the mural.
Hells yes.
Did you find some
Nice.
treasure?
I'm not telling anyone about this compartment. You're looking at a body. Get away from my treasure.
So you wanna check it out? You wanna open it up?
Yeah.
Poison dart.
Mm.
So you just open it?
No. No.
With which
I
hand?
never said that. Okay.
So you just stick your face in?
You know
Is that
what?
what you do?
Yeah, I actually open it with my teeth.
With your teeth, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
She actually...
Classic Val.
Yeah.
And so what are your
dang, I
leads
don't
right
think
now?
that this is actually going to work. My lead is the one-eyed man.
Sure.
Friend.
And what's your
Could
second
be a
lead right
woman.
now?
The final blade.
Okay.
Yeah, those were kind of my two leads. I haven't changed them. Although now you're making me feel like I should.
You certainly can
Thanks a
change
lot.
them at this point to make...
I can change them at this point?
It takes a minute, and it's been 5 minutes of autopsy.
Okay, so if I would have had the time, I would have, yes, made this like mural a lead.
The other thing you could do is you could, because you've seen evidence of someone moving around in here. So you can say, I don't know who that is, but whoever that is
Whoever
in
that
here.
is.
Or, yeah, that's, or you also
Or
notice
what
like
do I think
something
they're
or someone
dragging?
has been dragged. So you'd be like, I want to make the thing that was dragged my lead. Either, oh, those
I
are
would
all
like
easy
to make
options.
the thing that was doing the dragging my lead.
You could make both your leads. You can have 2. Up to you, though. So what are they right now? For my notes.
I'll do those 2 things because I have a feeling that one or the other is the one-eyed person anyway. So
Sure.
I'll drop that kind of specific one and then just make
And
the dragger and the dragged my 2 leads.
And then you're just going with reckless abandon, open the secret
No,
compartment.
I don't think this really applies, but I have a feat called Swift Sneak where I want to like, essentially I would like to open it carefully and like stealthily.
Got it. So that's a stealth check. I've got your bonus here. I'll roll that for you behind the scenes. Cool. So you open it up really stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes almost no noise. And you find a small compartment with 2 things inside of it. You find what seems like a headband with some sort of embroidery and sigils on it and a rolled up piece of parchment.
Well, definitely taking both of those things out.
Well, and it's right as
good.
you're reaching from them.
Yeah, how
what's your perception DC, Fox?
Oh, DC.
Oh, no. See, they're always coming up
I
the
know,
back.
they're coming up behind us.
The
You're ready,
one-eyed man's
though.
like knocking on the door.
I
Hello,
forget, how do
anyone
you
there?
do the DC again?
Just 10 plus your bonus.
32.
Yeah, no problem. You see 2 hooded figures robed in spider silk robes with spider patterns embroidered over the hoods and shoulders. You almost can't see their face, walking up to you.
We've got company.
What do you do?
I say that to you guys. They're walking up to me.
You see them walking towards the front door.
Do they appear threatening at all?
I mean,
Are they holding weapons? Are they?
Can we see them if we're like inside and he says
no,
we got
you'd have to
company?
run over to the door.
Droshar stands up and is now a giant, tall vampire person with his sword out.
Are spiders the sign of Pharasma?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
I think it's a hourglass.
So you see these. So does anyone run over to the door, or are you all staying throughout the building?
Can I roll a society to see if I think that those spiders are related to Pharasma in any way?
That'd be honestly, I'm really okay with that. So
Okay.
are you going to go get a look at them, or are you just basically have the information Fox is
when
sharing?
Fox is like, people are coming, and I'm like, this is what I do. So I run up there. I'm ready to throw down.
Watson is going to be standing here by the bed,
Okay.
adjacent to the wall.
I think especially since they're both her leads, Val is pretty fixated on this and she's going to just try to grab these items that she just found and look at them.
So you're going to try to grab them?
Yeah, I think she's kind of like, whatever. Like, I want to take these things before these people get here.
So Droshars, you run over there and you get a good look at these masked, as they're getting closer,
Yikes.
pilgrims wrapped in heavy webbed shawls, carrying spider-like tokens, walking with heavy staves. You know, I'm sure you can all decide how you want to feel about masked people in the City of Gold.
Mhm.
But what was that? What's that society bonus?
Plus 20.
Pharasma doesn't
Didn't
have
think so.
spider iconography. However, neither do the Grey Gardeners.
Right.
All right. They're getting closer and closer.
Well, any friend of a spider is no friend of mine. I'll just say that.
Fox, hide?
Hide.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll hide.
We'll hide.
Do
I'll
any
hide
of you have the
inside
group
doorway.
stealth check rule?
Yes.
Or, holy shit, you do?
Yes. Hold on.
What's it called? Because I may have it too.
Follow
might
the
Why is-
expert or something.
It allows you to use the follow the expert.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. I'll find it.
Okay.
Somebody talk about something else.
Definitely
So-
gonna have to cut this white noise out while we find this.
Oh, we can chat through this. It's what vamping's for, folks. So that rule, if Jane's character has it, I know, courtesy of a friend of the pod, if
Friend
you
of the
will.
pod.
One Felix, played by Ike out of Ohio. And so the way it works is, let's talk about group checks, because normally in a group check like this, every single one of you is gonna roll, and then the lowest total roll is what's followed. However, this feat, if it's had, group stealth or something like that is what it's called, what it means is that only the person with the lowest check will roll, and they can be following the leader or following an expert to gain a bonus on this. From my notes, Watson has the worst stealth check.
Absolutely.
But because there's a lot of rules associated with this, you know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to have to ask all you to tune in next time to find out what happens.
I did find it. I have what's called quiet allies.
Yes,
and so
quiet
when
allies.
avoiding notice, all allies follow the expert to roll stealth once using the lowest modifier.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.